The fear keys are represented by all the underworld creatures. See, the creative imagination is vast, and everything in the cosmos is formed from this Maya, this kind of construct of the unconscious mind, and everything in that Maya has a symbolism. So all these underworld creatures, the creatures that creep and crawl and swim and flutter and buzz, these are the creatures that deep inside our unconscious represent specific fears. So if there's a creature that you're afraid of, if it's a spider or if it's a snake or if it's a shark, it represents a very specific human fear. And if you can see which fears relate to you, which creatures relate to you, that creature can become an opening, a doorway in your imagination, also in your outer life, into transforming that fear. And when you transform that fear, it becomes a gift. And when it becomes a gift, you feel freedom. And that's the power of working with the dream arc. The life keys. The life keys are represented by the mammals, all the mammalian matrix. And within the creative imagination, within this world, this construct, we are within that realm. We are the mammals. We are connected deeply with all mammals, with all these species that we've come from, that we've emerged from. So the difference between humans and mammals is that we are vertical and mammals are horizontal. So they live horizontally as opposed to vertically in a different way. I mean, some of the apes are like half and half. But that programming makes us very, very different. So when we lie down and we sleep and we dream, we go into that mammalian realm. And working with the life keys when we're dreaming and seeing and inviting mammals to come into our dreams, what it's doing is it's awakening codes inside our DNA. These life keys, they're keys specific to our unconscious, and they're hidden inside us. And every mammal represents a gift, a specific gift. Like if you could understand the mammals that you're most connected to, whether it's a dog or a cat or a llama or a goat, or it can be, something wild like a tiger. They all have specific gifts that they represent in the Dream Arc Codex. So once you begin to work with the life keys, you're working with the mammals, you're working with gifts. You're working with creative gifts inside you. And this isn't just made up stuff. This is like unlocking the creative imagination, unlocking gifts inside your life that you can then bring out into the world. So we can use this Dream Arc teaching and these life keys as a way of revivifying aspects of ourselves that are asleep. And as we awaken more and more of them, we become a more complete and a more beautiful and a more wondrous and a more whole human being. Birds are about visions. Birds are about vision. These are called the vision keys. Birds have always brought messages from the other world. They've always been in our myths and mythology harbingers, whether of death or birth, or whether it's the stork or the crow. Birds tell us about the future. They bring messages from the other realm. They represent a strata, a sphere of our consciousness. So when we work with the birds from the Dream Arc Codex, then we're working with visions. We're working with these vision keys. And every bird has a specific frequency that it represents inside us, inside our DNA. It's a way of going into the unconscious and up into the superconscious and drawing information from that field of light, from that field of expansion, of expanded consciousness, and bringing that down through that field and into our everyday understanding. And then we can awaken something, some truth that we didn't see previously. But that bird, that specific bird that visits us, whether it visits us internally or actually externally, then it brings us that very key message that we need exactly at that specific moment. This is the magic of the bird realm.